Hey there guys, welcome back to another Fly Tying Friday. Tonight I got a really simple nymph pattern for you that's been working great for me on some local tailwaters for some picky browns. This one I tie pretty small. This is a size 16 Hannock 400 jig hook. I also go down to an 18 with this one, but typically I'll tie it on a 16 Hannock. And those Hannock hooks, they run a little smaller than other jig hooks in the same comparable size, so it's a really good pattern. I keep it really muted with this darker bead and just keep everything pretty simple, not too flashy. But this is basically a thread Frenchie, just really toned down in muted colors. So we'll get a fresh hook in the vise and get right into it here. Alright, so as I said, I got a Hannock 400 size 16 in the vise, and this is a 2.5 millimeter tungsten bead, slotted tungsten, and I'm going to come in with some UTC 70 ultra thread in just brown color, and we're just going to start by attaching our thread and making a nice little dam of thread behind the bead just to keep that bead in place. And if you look, that slot's right on top, bead's not moving. So we'll just trim that excess out. And then what I like to do is make a tail out of Coq de Leon. It's or CDL fiber. This is just a single feather here. We're gonna take, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 pieces. Just get those oriented perpendicular to the stem, so they're all lined up evenly. And I like to just trim them with scissors. When I pull them off the feather, they seem to not be very even for whatever reason. But so what we want to do is have just not too long of a tail, basically where those lighter tips of the feather are. That's kind of how long I want the tail to be. So right in there, and I'll just take my other hand and grab those at the right length, take a couple loose wraps, and then I keep pulling backwards on the tail as I wrap to keep it on top of the hook shank and make just some nice even wraps. Then we'll trim the excess out of the way there. So the rib on this fly is just going to be some small, size small ultra copper wire, ultra wire. And what I like to do is tuck the end of that wire up into the slot of the bead, if you can see that right there. So that's going to slide up into the top slot, and then I'll just start making some loose wraps there. Try to cover up the wire at the connection, and then I'll give my thread a little counterclockwise spin to flatten the thread out, and just work my way towards the head, covering up that wire. And just make sure you got a nice taper to your body. May have to spin it and flatten it out a few more times as you work up. Alright, and then I'm just going to start wrapping this wire evenly up towards the head. And if you wanted to, you could definitely just end this fly right there and it'd probably catch just as many fish. But I like to add a little dubbing ball of the Wapsi dubbing. This is the sow scud dubbing. You can see there. This is their assortment pack, and I really like this dark sow bug dubbing. And there's a little look at it there. It's got some cool colors mixed into it. Kinda a little bit flashy, and it just in a real subtle way though. I mean, not much to it. And you only need a little bit of this stuff. Just a little pinch. Get a few fibers just to cover up the thread, basically. Just about like that. And we'll just wrap that right next to the bead there. and just whip finish. Just like that. And there's a little thread Frenchie that does really well for me on pressured waters. Another thing you can do is add some UV resin on this section of the fly before you add the dubbing. Might make it a little bit more durable, but I've found that it fishes just fine like this. It's been a great pattern for me when the fish just seem to be extra picky. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on another Fly Tying Friday. God bless.